Hi everyone, and welcome to our hero spotlight on Dampeer, a pale, blood-sucking creature that was once a jolly count that sang to young children, but after suffering a tragic blow to the head, sports an embarrassing misshapen cranium and a strange affinity for Hawaiian shirts. Dampeer's first skill, appropriately named, reveals his true terrorist nature, blasting nearby enemies with instant damage and utter confusion. The skill hits invisible units, goes through Fog of War, and allows him to terrorize poor Bubbles in the trees. Dampeer's second ability is essentially a blink strike that deals damage and steals life from units that are hit on the way to the final target. You can use it to hop past whatever may be blocking your way, including terrain, walls of mummies, and fissures. In dangerous situations, this skill can be a lifesaver, allowing you to quickly avoid projectile and area effect spells, while healing enough to jump back into the action for a few more hits. His third skill is a standard lifesteal aura that caps at 30% lifesteal for melee units and 10% for ranged when maxed out. Combined with the healing power of his other abilities, Dampeer may be found hopping into teamfights and surviving just long enough to pick off multiple heroes on his own. His ultimate, Consume, allows him to gain up to 3 essences that boost the damage and stun duration on his Terrorize and Vampiric Flight ability. With 3 charges, you can gain an extra 150 spell damage and 0.75 seconds of stun duration. So if you plan on farming for a while, it's a good idea to use it on a few creeps. Once you have 3 essences or simply have your ulti up, you can use it in conjunction with Vampiric Flight to deal a massive amount of damage and heal yourself enough to survive your opponent's DPS. Be careful not to waste both abilities at the start of a fight when you're at full health, unless you're sure that you're not going to need the extra healing afterwards. You'll be much easier to kill without it. For what skills to train first with Dampeer, at level 1 I'd suggest getting Terrorize, just for early game ganking and escaping potential. The Disable could prove more useful than a single Blink Strike. But from there, you should max out Vampiric Flight since the cooldown drops significantly with level while increasing your damage, and Terrorize has a set cooldown and 1 second stun duration at all levels. After you've maxed out both your first and second skills, you can take out entire creep waves very quickly and should also get your ultimate as soon as it's available to nom a few creeps and further increase the stun and damage of your first 2 skills. You can then get your bloodthirst and stats according to the situation. Although usually a bad idea on most heroes, with the massive amount of lifesteal abilities that Dampeer has, you can expect to be able to jump back into a fight even when low on health. By dealing damage, he increases his survivability and leaves his enemies disheartened as they fail to kill him and take massive damage as a result. Dampeer's strengths are pure offense, as his skills give him enough defense to continually charge after his opponents. By putting him solo mid, he can take advantage of runes such as double damage and haste to pull off quick side lane ganks and put himself further ahead of the other team. He also pairs well with a lane partner that has a stun or burst damage nukes, as he can quickly jump in and terrorize, putting out high magic damage and giving his ally good opportunity to follow up. Although highly situational, Hellflower can be a great item choice on Dampeer, giving him all the mana and regeneration he'll need to spam his first and second skills to his liking. Your enemies will run helpless, unable to use items or cast spells, giving you a good window of time to jump in and pick them off. But as a core item for mid to late game with Dampeer, a Shrunken Head essentially gives him free roaming power during team battles, allowing him to make full use of his life-stealing power without worrying about getting nuked down. Finally, an amazing item to get later on with Dampeer is Demonic Breastplate. With Shrunken Head and lifesteal to back it up, the armor auras allow him to survive against strong physical carries late into the game. Again, thanks everyone for watching, and Vacation Dampeer would like to say a last few words to a recent victim that was found suspiciously drained of blood and covered in a few pieces of tattered Hawaiian shirt.
Looks like for him it's game over.